We got married in 2014. We planned the whole wedding in 8 months. We had 100 guests at a sit-down meal and also a free bar. And we did all that for a budget of less than £4,000. So in this video I want to share with you how we managed to do our whole wedding day on a really good budget. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break that down for you in exactly what we spent our money on and how we spent our money. So with the average cost of a wedding being around about £20,000, we really didn't want to spend that. We'd both been married before, so we didn't want the high, glitzy, glammy, expensive wedding. We just wanted it to be about ourselves and reflect us. So let's get straight in and break it all down and work out exactly what we spent on our wedding day. And the first things that we spent our money on obviously is the rings. Donna proposed to me and she bought me a ring, and so we also had to pop in and get her wedding ring and her engagement ring. So the total cost of the rings was about £900. So this is our local church, and the great thing about this church is it's also got a pub next door. So before we arrived, people were already enjoying themselves, relaxing, having a few drinks, and it just set the day off really well. So the total cost for our church was around about £350. Once we got the date set and the venue, all we had to do was tell everybody. And the way we did that, we did fake press releases on a kind of fake newspaper article. And one of the good things about that is that we could include all the information about our wedding day, directions, times, who's marrying us, and also about how we got engaged. But also we were able to print it out in a really simple way that made it look like a real newspaper article. We had a friend of ours help with printing those and the order of services, and he donated the time and the materials for free. And then one final bit of stationery that we needed was for thank you cards, and we just used a template from a local printer to do regular cards. So the total of that was just £30. And the next thing to add into the budget was the dresses. So the bridesmaids dresses and the wedding dress. And Donna has a really great friend who's a professional seamstress, and she wanted to give a little bit today, so she donated her time and also all the materials for all the dresses absolutely for free. So that covered a great expense that really helped us out there. The accessories, she managed to hunt down some shoes in the sales and also some other bits and bobs, and she reliably informs me that all that came to just £30, and I believe her. So hair and makeup, Donna really wanted to do her own hair and makeup, and it's something that made her feel more comfortable on the day. She also had her older daughters help her with that, so that wasn't a problem. I think the total cost of that came to about £10 or £20. Next on the list is flowers for your wedding day, and for us, Donna wasn't a particularly flowery type person, and also we wanted something slightly more creative that reflected both of us, so we used Modern Bloom flowers for the buttonholes and also Donna's bouquet, and the cost for that was a total of £40. Call the old Brentmeister himself.
Hello mate.
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to sort out what we're going to wear.
What, a suit?
We're going to do matching grey with ties.
Yeah, we can hire them, can't we? Yeah, we go next week. Okay. Cheers mate. Brilliant.
Hello mate.
Yeah mate, I'm just at King's Cross.
Yeah, we got to meet up, son.
Yeah, I've got to catch a train. Call you back later.
Okay. Bye.
Hello mate.
Hello mate.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm really busy at the moment. Yeah. Got loads on.
Yeah, we got to sort these suits out, haven't we?
Oh, bloody suits again. Is it a grey suit?
Yeah, it's a grey suit from Slater's.
Yeah, I've got a grey suit.
Light grey.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got a grey suit?
Yeah, I got mine, just need to get a matching one.
You've got one? Well, we'll use them then, shall we?
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Brilliant, sorted then. Okay.
Right, see you later.
See you then. Bye. Woohoo!
So that's how it worked. We had grey suits which kind of matched a little bit, and we worked on the principle that if we had matching handkerchiefs and ties, and buttonholes that nobody actually noticed the suits weren't exactly the same. And I don't think anybody did, to be quite honest, or they really cared. And then the ushers did a fantastic job. They were entertainer friends of mine, so they worked together quite a lot. I said to them, well, we've got a purple theme. One of them said, well, we've got actual purple suits. So that's what it was. So big thank you for those guys. And then the final suits that we had provided were for the page boys, and we just had off-the-shelf suits. The total of that came to £120, with the ties and handkerchiefs from eBay was really cheap, and they came to about £5 or £10. So in total £125 for the suits. When it comes down to wedding cars, we're really fortunate. We've got our own classic Mini, and this is very much part of the family, so it fitted in perfectly with our day. So that's the wedding car sorted. So after our wedding, we headed down to the local village hall, which a couple of miles down the road from the church. And we were really lucky. We looked around several village halls in the area. Being a rural location, we had lots to choose from. And this one came up trumps for us. It's got a really nice serving area, which we use for the bar. It's got a kitchen area, and it's got a couple of side rooms, and also a kids play area just outside. So just a quick tip when it comes to looking for venues: if you're looking for venues on a budget, have a little think outside the box and look around your area. You might find there's venues like a local visitor centre or even a museum or something like that, and quite often those places, they will have function rooms which aren't being used, and consequently you can pick those up really nicely and cheap for the day, even at weekends where they're even less likely to get booked. So we managed to get this venue all the way through from 10:30 in the morning to set up, all the way through until 11:30 in the evening, and the total cost for that was £99. So as you can imagine, inside is a fairly typical village hall. It's a really nice space, but it just needed that little bit of decoration and a little bit of colour to bring it alive. So we were lucky enough to be able to use tablecloths that came with the village hall, and also in the centre of each table as centrepieces we used modelling balloons and jam jars filled with sweets. To bring a little bit of colour to the edge of the room, we borrowed some uplighters from our DJ and just shone those up the sides of the room, and uplighters are a really fantastic way of bringing that colour into the room. So the total cost for decorating the room was £40 for the modelling balloons, and also £30 for the jam jars, and £30 for sweets and some other little bits of decoration. The uplighters and all the lighting, we have a friend who's a really good DJ, and he allowed us to use his lighting rig for the day, and that was given to us absolutely for free. So catering, how do you cater for 100 people and make sure they've got an open bar as well on a budget? And we looked at various different options. One of the options we looked at was a pig roast or bringing in caterers, different ideas like that. But one of the ideas that we did settle on was fish and chips, and we had everybody serve fish and chips, and they were ordered to arrive at a certain time. They arrived already boxed, ready to be served, all nice and hot, and it worked out at £5.50 a head, so 100 people, £550. After the fish and chips, we wanted desserts for everybody, and the way we did this, remember those jam jars that we used around the table decorations? Well, we bought 100 of those jam jars, so we had plenty left over, and what we did, we served a angel delight with a biscuit base, so it's kind of like a cheesecake, but it was sealed fresh in each jam jar, and everybody for the dessert, they just helped themselves to a jam jar with different flavours in as well, and the desserts cost no more than £20. So on top of desserts, we had some cupcakes that our daughter made for us, which was absolutely fantastic, and she donated her time and the ingredients for that, and that was a cake covered. To keep everybody in drinks for the daytime and the evening, we wanted a couple of bottles of wine on each table, and also some wine behind the bar, and some beer, and obviously some soft drinks. So the beer and the soft drinks we got from the local cash and carry, and also the wine, a little bit more inventive here, we went to a lost and reclaimed auction, and I came home from that with 48 bottles of wine for about £85. So the total cost of the bar bill was £250. The final thing to fit in is the evening entertainment, and we wanted everybody to have a really good time, so we kind of focused our budget more on entertaining, and we found a really great kind of a street band, and they played modern music in their own sort of styles, and that band is called Cash Cows. Look them up, I'll put a link down below. But they did a fantastic job for us. And then after that we had a silent disco, which was something different, and that worked in two ways. One, it's great because our venue here has a sound cut off about 10 o'clock I think it was, and also if people wanted just to chill and chat, they could do so without being in a smaller venue with a loud disco going on. So all we had to do was hire the headsets for this. We didn't need a DJ. I just used 3 iPods and played the 3 different channels that you can have feeding it into your headphones, hired from a local company called Silent Noise. I think they're national now, and we also had the Cash Cows as our band. In total was £975. And so finally, to finish off the evening, we needed somewhere to stay, and locally to here we found a really cool venue that did glamping pods, so we stayed there for the evening, and the total cost of that was £100, and that includes getting there in a taxi. So one of the things I haven't mentioned yet, and a really important thing for every wedding, is the photographer. Getting a good photographer is really important, and we were really lucky in that one of our guests was just starting up his wedding photography business. So we took a chance on that, but just to make sure, we also had a second guest who was also taking photos. So we had everything covered, and if one of the photos went wrong or something, we'd kind of have a backup plan. As it is, didn't go wrong, everything was fantastic. We were given the photos on memory stick, which saved him time of doing any editing or anything like that. So he gave his time for free and all the photos. So there you go, that's everything that we spent our money on for our wedding. Now there's probably a few things that I either haven't mentioned, or as we were shopping we just added them into what we thought would fit with our wedding. So those extra little bits here and there, we're going to put an extra few £100 in, but as you can see we are still well under £4,000 for a wedding, which was absolutely great, seeing the average cost of a wedding, as I mentioned earlier, is around about £20,000, or at the time it was. So I think we've done pretty well. We had an amazing day, and we had just great feedback from all our friends who just loved being part of the day. That's how we did our wedding day, and obviously if you want to do a wedding day on budget, it's going to be completely different to our day because every day is different. So here are just some tips just to help you if you wanted to do similar and have a wedding on a budget. So tip number 1 is have a plan. And have a plan and work around that plan. So discuss with your partner what you want from your day, how you want it to run, what the timing's going to be, and where you want to focus your budget. Tip number 2 is work with your budget and not against it. So if there's something that you particularly want to focus on, so for us it was making sure everybody had a great time and everybody's being entertained. So as you can see, we kind of focused our money towards that, and we focused money on having a really great band and also a disco. People were just entertained, and it just helped the day flow. Tip number 3, if you're on a limited budget, be creative and work to your strengths. So for us, we had lots of things that we already had in place, like the wedding cars and the usher's suits is a great example, or the flowers, or not the flowers as it turned out, you know, the balloons. Those were things which we could get creative with, particularly like the wedding invitations. People just enjoyed that much more than invitations or something that wasn't quite like us but we'd spent a lot of money on. So tip number 4, don't worry too much about traditions. Make the day about you and what you want out of the day. So if there's something that is going to be really costly just because it's a tradition, do you really need to include that if it's not something that you really suits you? For example, our flowers, again, they're a good example of this. And also the cake, we didn't have a really elaborate cake because it just didn't really fit that much into our wedding day. We had quite a simple cake, and we just kind of casually cut it, to be quite honest. It wasn't that big tradition part of the day. For me, I can't really work out what the tradition of a cake is in any case, so yeah. And so that comes down to tip number 5, and that is pay attention to what's going to get noticed and focus on those rather than things that won't get noticed or doesn't make a big impact on the day. For example, we didn't have any chair coverings because personally I think they look fantastic, but once everybody has sat down, nobody notices what the chairs look like because everybody's sitting on them. So things like that, we didn't worry too much about them. We didn't worry too much about favours also, because at the end of the day, nobody really cares whether they get to take home something that is a memento of the day. The memento of the day should be about seeing you get married, and that's really why your friends turn up at your wedding. So yeah, pay attention to what gets noticed, and then the unnoticed gets less noticed. And one final tip is to let your friends be involved in your day. And that, I mean, as you've noticed, a lot of friends contributed to our day, and they also gave their time and some of the expenses in what they did for us, which not only did it help our budget, but it also made them feel part of the day. For example, our seamstress, she just loved the fact that she could see what she'd created up there as the centerpiece of our day. So I can't say thank you enough to all my friends and family that contributed to our day. Not only did they really help us do it on a budget, but they made it special for us, and I hope they enjoyed everything that they did to make our day absolutely fantastic. So thanks for watching. I hope that's given you some insight into our wedding day, and if you're planning your wedding day on a budget, hopefully it's given you some ideas of how you might be able to save some costs. If you've got any questions about what we did or anything like that, please just leave them in the comments below, and please support the channel, give it a like, click on the subscribe button, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon.